heart of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thịnh, vì đức Pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tịnh duyên diệu Pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Tát Tha Tô Già Đa Già La Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa, bai jie wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jie wen de shou qu, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable ShuanHua, Venerable Left Home People, and all good no advisors Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Liêu祖Sư Phụ Sang Rần,各位出家人, 各位上智sư Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Lục Tổ, Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. All right. Today is the 5th of July, 2020. We are broadcasting from Way Mountain Temple in Rosemead, California. We are continuing to discuss the 6th Patriarch Sutra. We are on chapter 7, slide number 369. Talking about the 6th Patriarch's teaching to this monk to help him become enlightened. He's asking about the Nirvana Sutra, and so he has a lot of, if you will, deviant thinking, improper thinking about the Dharma. It's from these years of investigating the Nirvana Sutra and learning from the wrong sources. In particular, that's what happens when you read a lot about the scriptures, explanation of the scriptures, and you try to synthesize them. You try to put them together. It turns out that, first of all, you're better off only listening to the patriarchs' explanation of sutras, because they are the ones who will give you the proper explanation of the sutras. The non-patriarchs, like me, when you listen to, you have to be careful. You have to be careful, make sure that you take it with a grain of salt, meaning that you have to be cautious. If I contradict people like me who contradict the patriarch's teachings, go with the patriarch, it's safer. Okay? because you want to learn from the proper sources. The non-patriarchs people they tend to, as a general rule of thumb, not be able to give you the proper guidance, the proper interpretation of Shakyamuni Buddha's original teachings. This is why the patriarchs came to our world, whose sole purpose is to make sure that they're trained to understand Shakyamuni Buddha's Dharma the proper way, the proper Dharma the proper way. So they're trained to do that. They're certified to do that. And you do that by becoming enlightened. Enlightened people have the proper understanding of the Dharma. Unenlightened people, 100% of the time, will have the improper understanding of the Dharma. And that's why you have a class of people, monks, if you will, nuns, if you will, who are enlightened. Okay? And they are recognized in our world, in our Mahayana world. This is only in Mahayana, not Hinayana, not in any other side of Buddhism. Only in Mahayana do you have a system of patriarchs who are enlightened, who are certified, who are guaranteed to explain you the proper Dharma. So whatever you learn from them is appropriate, is correct. Okay? They may vary in terms of depth, but whatever they say is consistent, is in accord with the Buddha's original teaching. Unfortunately, those who are not patriarchs, again, like me, like the scholars, like a lot of people, okay, who read about the scriptures, who investigated about the scriptures, who meditated a lot as well, but as long as they are not recognized as patriarchs, their understanding, 99% of the time, you have to be careful. Okay, so that's why one of the major responsibilities of the patriarchs is to give you this reassurance that whatever you learn from them is appropriate. You can trust them. Okay, so in Mahayana, we took a lot of pain and efforts to create this patriarch system for your reference. Okay, so this is what happened to this monk here. I think it's Chu Chang, right? Chu Dao or Chu Chang. Huh? 什么？他的法号是什么？ Chu Dao, okay, Gita. What happened in this Chu Dao here is very typical of the people who learn Buddhism, is that they erroneously think, they mistakenly think they can figure things out on their own. Unfortunately, nothing is further from the truth. If you are confused, 99.9% of the time, you cannot figure it out by yourself. There's some cases like the Buddha, when he was confused, he figured it out by himself. That's very, very rare. But for the rest of us who are not Buddhas, who are not Bodhisattvas, who are not, in particular, great Bodhisattvas, okay, we can't figure it out ourselves. We can't. Okay? This is not a personal attack on anyone. This is just my humble opinion. So that's what happened. The proof is that you see this guy, this Chu Dao, this monk here, who was very sincere, and he was very erudite. He investigated the Buddha's teaching very, very studiously. And because of the lack of guidance, because he never really learned from a patriarch. In particular, no patriarch ever corrected his erroneous views, his misunderstandings, if you will. And if you have one misunderstanding, one tiny misunderstanding, and you build your knowledge on top of it, okay? This tiny, tiny misunderstanding, okay, will snowball eventually to the point where you get so lost, you're so confused. So that's why when we study Buddhism, it's so critical that for us to go and learn. Traditionally, back then when there is no sutras even, sutras were used to be very expensive. There's no printing press back then. So as a Buddhist disciple, they are taught to bring a copy of the sutra, to go wherever there is a sutra lecture themselves, because the monks and nuns couldn't afford to give you sutras. Okay? So you have to bring your own sutra copies. And go there and you learn from these lectures. You listen to these lectures. Okay? And so back then in China, at least I know in China, these people used to go from temple to temple. When they heard of a good known advisor lecturing on sutras, they would pick up a copy and listen to one monk after another, repeatedly. That's what they used to do. Okay? Now with the age of the internet and the printing press, we have so much materials and we have so many interpretations, especially from the people who sound very good, who are speaking your language, if you will, language of, what is it? Love, language of fame, the language of success, the language of you're special, you're so special, okay? You're wonderful. And we need your money to build a temple. So you have these if you will, these modern day needs, where the monks and nuns feel compelled to build a temple, feel compelled to build bigger temple, to propagate the Dharma, to help a lot more people. Okay? That's not the way to propagate the Dharma. The way to propagate the Dharma is to become enlightened first. So you learn to become enlightened. And this Zhì Dào, this monk here, he wanted to do that. Okay, at least he had the right idea, but he went about it wrong. Okay, but finally, he, after 10 years of investigating a Nirvana Sutra on his own, he finally brought the sutra to see Master Huineng and asked him, Master Huineng, I went to a few places. I asked the great monks about the meaning of the way, how to become enlightened, and this is what I picked up. Okay, and but I still have some dark spots where I don't get it. Will you clarify them for me? And as he asked those questions, okay, by the way, you have the chance to ask the questions to a good known advisor. That takes a lot of blessings. I speak from personal experience. When my master is alive, what was I doing? I was busy making money and chasing fame and profit and enjoying myself. It's not until he was dying, I had only a few months left, and I decided to shave my head. Okay, and so never had a chance to ask him that many questions. Never could ask him any questions, even once. That's how sad it is. So this guy here, had a chance to go and ask Venerable Huineng, which is, in my humble opinion, even a far better teacher than Master ShuanHua, my own teacher. You see, can you imagine how blessed this guy is? And not because, for one reason I'm telling you, is because it's to illustrate, to make a point for all of us, future generations, his mistakes, his deviant views, his deviant thinking, okay? That's not just his, it's ours as well, okay? So it's a real treat to be able to listen to this and watch how this great patriarch turned this deviant monk around and help him become enlightened through the sudden teaching Dharma. He's a master at that. Okay? In the history of the Buddhism, he's one of the best out there. And that's even recorded in a sutra called the 6th Patriarch Sutra. So it's a real treasure. We should all be reading it over and over and over again. Investigate it over and over again. I assure you, okay, if you do it right, every time you go over it, you will pick up more principles. You will learn a lot more than the last time. That's how deep it is. I don't care how many times you do it. Give me a number. 10? Yes, absolutely. You will learn more each time. How about 100? Absolutely. How about more than 100? Do I hear more than 100? I don't care which number. His teaching is so profound, I assure you. Okay? If you keep on reading it, okay, you get a lot more out of it. That's how incredibly profound this sutra is. I personally only looked at it maybe 5 times. This is my 5th time as I'm looking at it with you together. And I'm pick up things that I didn't pick up when I was preparing for this sutra lecture 2, 3 years ago. Now I pick up these things. Okay? It's just incredibly profound and wonderful. All right. So that's and the point again, and I need to emphasize to you is this Chan monk, this monk here, the Zhì Dào, he's misguided, he's lost because of the lack of guidance. He went off the wrong way and it snowballed to the point where he became deviant. His thinking became deviant. His understanding of Buddhism, even as a monk who investigated a simple sutra, a not very difficult to explain sutra as a Nirvana sutra, he got lost. Okay, that's how things could happen to all of us very quickly, because if you don't have the proper guidance, you will get lost. It's very easy to get lost. So this monk here got lost. So the 6th Patriarch explained to him, okay, corrected all his deviant thinking, his erroneous views. Okay, views is what caused him all these problems. This monk here, so that the Patriarch ingeniously corrected all that, and I love how to see again how he did it. Okay, for this monk. So now, we are on slide 369, where there's a verse, we go to the verse of Venerable Huineng to help explain, to help correct this monk's deviant views. Okay. Are we on 369 or 368? Okay, 369. Okay. Sutra text knows that the Dharma of the 5 skandhas and the self within the skandhas, the outward appearances, a mass of images, the mark of every sound, are equally like the illusion of dreams.
已知五蕴法，即以蕴中我，外现众色相，一一因生相，平等如梦幻。
Okay, so we're on the commentary on slide 370. He says that he knows that the Dharma of the 5 skandhas, what is referring to the 5 skandhas are these from the Sanskrit words. Skandhas means heap. Do we have explanation of 5 skandhas here? Okay. The 5 skandhas is Buddhist technology, if you will. Okay, this is the Dharma that Shakyamuni Buddha taught, especially to the people who meditate, to help them break through the ego. These 5 skandhas are the components that make up our ego, the ego, as the psychologists and therapists define it. Okay, in Buddhism, we know what makes up the ego. Okay, the Buddha explained it very, very clearly. So that for what purpose? So that we know, we can recognize how the ego functions. And number 2, at the end of the explanation, the sutra says, the Buddha in the ShuanHua Sutra says, there's a way for you to break through this ego. Okay, there's a method to break through this ego. Okay, by doing away with the 5 skandhas. Okay, so that's how the Buddha taught us, that everyone knows about the 5 skandhas. What are the 5 skandhas? Will someone help me out, please? And this should be, I assure you, if you want to learn Buddhism, you need to know the 5 skandhas, because only us, okay, are specialists in the 5 skandhas. The non-Buddhists have no clues. So that's very critical for you to memorize these things and know this by heart. Okay? Yes, Black.
Form, feeling, cognition, formation, and consciousness.
Form, feeling,
Cognition.
thinking.
Yeah, thinking.
Thinking, and what?
Formation.
Formation, activity, yes.
And consciousness.
Very good. So all those are the 5 components of what is called an ego. All of you, okay, who still have a self, who still have an ego, okay, function according to those 5 skandhas. Okay, that's you, who you are. You are not, the Buddhists don't look at you as yellow skinned, black skinned, darker skinned, lighter skins, lighter hair, darker hair, old, young. Buddhists don't look at Buddhists and Bodhisattvas, don't look at you like that. They look at you as a living being that's defined by your 5 skandhas. Okay? What are those 5 skandhas? Number 1 is form. Yes? Form, if you will, is what? Your body. Okay? Our ego. We think ourselves as, we typically, especially modern day people, think of the body as yourself. Yes or no? Me? Huh? How dare you hit me? Oi. Okay? So you're hurting me when you hit me. You're hurting myself. Okay? So that's why modern day people think of the self as the body, the form, if you will. All right? But no, yourself has more than just the ego. The ego, more than just the body. Okay? So the notion of self entails the attachment to a form. Yes? The form that you need to go to the gym and exercise. Huh? Some of you need to go to see a doctor for liposuction. Botox injection. I don't know. How about the hairdresser? Okay? So all that's right there are the manifestations of the attachments to your form, to your body, if you will. Is that clear? So that's the self there, the notion of a self entails the attachment to your form. Yes? And we exercise to shape our form, and so forth. Yes, people are so worried about nutrition. Also, that is an attachment to the form as well. Yes. So far, so good. Okay. Second kind of attachment is to feelings. Right? Feelings. What kind of attachment? How do these attachments manifest? We are attached to good feelings and reject bad feelings. Yes? We spend our lives chasing after good feelings. Okay? How do we do that? Sir, what do you do to get good feelings? Let's keep it PG, please. Huh? Yes, sir. Give them an orange. What do you do for good feelings, sir?
Coffee.
Coffee. Every day, yes? We drink coffee. What kind of coffee? No, let's keep it non-commercial, please. No free advertising.
Okay.
No mention names.
My own coffee. My
There you go. And you future potential advertisers, please contact ShuanHua right there, and she will put you in some kind of special arrangements so that we mention your names, or I have a cup of your thing on top of my table. Very subtle advertising. Huh? Okay, coffee. Very good. What else? How do you see your attachments to your feelings? What do you do typically during the day? What do you do? Wow. Internet people, I'm very proud of the fact that my people here at the temple, they have no attachments to feelings. How about internet people? Huh? No attachment to feelings? What do you do to feel good? Come on, folks, let's be honest. Yes, ma'am. What do you do to feel good? SanJose, yes, SanJose. the SanJose is jumping up and down. What do you do to feel good? Come on, folks, let's be honest. Yes, ma'am. What do you do to feel good? Yes, what do you do to feel good?
SanJose, yes.
I
SanJose.
hand my children to my
The
husband.
SanJose is jumping up and down. Me,
What do
me,
you
me,
do to
me.
feel good? Come on, folks. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
What's
Yes,
going
ma'am.
on? What's
What do you
going
do to feel good?
Yes, what do you do to feel good?
SanJose, yes. SanJose.
Yeah, mute the other part. Okay, go
What
ahead,
do you do to
SanJose.
feel?
Out backyard under a tree.
Yes. Yeah, mute the other part. Okay, go
What
ahead,
do you do to
SanJose.
feel?
Okay, so to try. I'd like to hand my children out backyard under a tree.
Yes. Yeah, mute the other part. Okay, go
What
ahead,
do you do to
SanJose.
feel?
Okay, so to try.
Okay, forget it, SanJose. We don't need you. Texas. We have some technical difficulties. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, over there. Pink.
Good food?
Good food. Yeah, of course. Eating is so important to us, isn't it? Okay, comfort food. Remember this keyword nowadays going around, comfort food? Okay, it's very popular because that's what people are seeking, comfort food. Okay, to comfort themselves, to make themselves feel better. Okay, the stress in our daily lives is too much, so we need to be comforted. And we do it for ourselves, to ourselves. Okay, comfort food. Absolutely, and you look closely. We insist on doing certain things in order to feel good about ourselves, about our lives. Okay, about what we do. All right. So, and what about another form of attachment is rejecting bad feelings. I'll give you an example that comes off the top of my head is that no one wants to sit in full lotus anymore. Because it hurts. Right? See, we reject bad feelings. That's an attachment right there. All right? So that's the nature of the ego. The ego says, I like good feelings, I do not like bad feelings. Forget it. Okay? You want to make him feel bad? You're no longer my friend. You're no longer my wife, my husband. Okay? Because you really like me, you got to make me feel good. All right? The next one is thinking. Okay? Thinking. Modern day people are very proud of thinking. We go to school to learn how to think. So as we go to school, what happens? You notice? Our children, as you start sending them, our children to school, guess what happens? The ego grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the function of education. Bigger because they learn how to think. So far, so good. So the ego manifests itself in a form of liking to think. Okay? We like to think. Let me think. Huh? Let me think. Okay? We're proud of it. We're proud of our thinking. And that's an attachment to the ego. Ego says, hey, I'm a good thinker. I can think. I don't jump to conclusion without thinking. Okay? Fourth one is formations, or also called activity. This is your automatic, autonomous, if you will, system. Okay? Meaning that your digestive system is autonomous. Your What else? Your heartbeat, your heart functioning is autonomous. That's activity right there. Okay, so if you look at, for comparison, for reference purposes, if you look at thinking as its layer here, then activity is one level lower, if you will. So far, so good. So that's why, even though we don't think about it, we still are able to digest and secrete all the good stuff in our bodies. And our heart can still beat. Okay? That's activity. That's a function of the ego as well. Because why is it a function of the ego? Without it, we will die. So the ego says, no way, I don't want to die. Therefore, I need to maintain this autonomous system. So far, so good. The ego says, no, I don't care what you do. Okay? But I need to breathe. My heart needs to beat and pump blood throughout my system and throughout my body. Okay? That's activity right there. Okay? The conscious energy that runs those things is called activity. Yes, orange.
Master, does that go down to like every single cell is doing some particular job in the body? Is all of that included in activity?
What?
Every single cell in the body is doing some sort of function, right? Is all of that included in activity?
Probably. I never went down to the atom level and cell level, so I don't know. Okay? If the ego gets down to that level, I say, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. Okay? What about the final one is consciousness. Okay? And that's, if you're thinking layer here, activity layer here, then consciousness is even lower. It's lower level of mental energy, mental activity, if you will. Okay? And the consciousness is also a function of the ego as well. Okay? For example, women, primarily women, they have this awareness that's more heightened than men. Okay? They can sense, they're more attuned to energy. Okay? They're aware of energy. They're aware of liking, disliking. You know? We men are so coarse. Sometimes we so fool ourselves that we aren't aware that people don't like us or like us. Okay? But women, they're different. In particular, they are more attuned to the opposite sex. Yes? Is that true? I'm going way on a limb here. You women have to help me out. Okay? You attune to the fact that, oh, she's attracted to me. I mean, he's attracted to me. You know, that kind of thing. More than we men are. Okay? That's consciousness, if you will. Okay? And that's so the ego manifests in 5 categories, classes of attachments. Attachments to the body, to the form, attachments to the feelings, attachments to thinking, okay? Attachments to your activity, attachments to your consciousness. That's the 5 components of the ego, okay? All right? And not just components, the 5 layers of the ego, by the way. Okay? And that's why the ego is extremely difficult to pin down. Extremely difficult. Okay? And anyone who tries to pin down someone's ego would come back bloody-nosed and feeling very lonely. Because no one likes you if you threaten the ego. Yes or no? Anyone ever come to you and say, hurt my ego? Go ahead, hurt my ego, make my day, hurt me. It never happened to me before. All right? So those are, that he says, knows that the Dharma of the 5 skandhas. So that's why he says, if you want to cultivate, okay, you need to know about the 5 skandhas. Okay? And next one on slide 370, the self within the 5 skandhas, meaning that that the 5 skandhas, okay, are the manifestation of the self. Okay? And the outward appearances, massive images. Not only are you aware of yourself, your makeup, your ego, but also be aware that beyond your body, outside yourself, the external world, okay, the outward appearances are just a bunch of images, meaning a bunch of sounds, bunch of fragrances, bunch of objects of touch, okay? Shapes, forms, okay? The mark of every sound are equally like the illusion of dreams. And so the 6th Patriarch says that the external world, the world apart from you, outside of you, okay, are just like an illusion. It's just like a dream. It's all false. You dreaming. Your perception as you see, the thing you see through your eyes, through your nose, through your ears, are but dreams. They're not real. And please, at this point here, when you hear that, don't tell me I don't understand. Of course you don't understand. How can you possibly understand? Even what you hear, which just hurt my words, you don't understand them. Okay, 371, Sutra text. For him, views of common and sagely do not arise, nor are explanations of nirvana made. The 2 boundaries, the 3 limits are cut off. All organs have their function, but there never arises the thought of the function.
不起凡圣见，不作涅盘解，两边三际断，常应诸根用，而不起用想。
All right, we on the commentary on slide 372. Except for this person here, for this enlightened person, the notions of common and sagely, those thoughts of common and sagely do not arise. Why don't these thoughts of sagely and ordinary not arise? Because of something called views. Okay? Look at this term view here from Chinese word jian. Okay? Jian here is your ability to perceive, to see. Yes? You see a camera, you see someone, you see a wall, you see objects. Okay? That is view. That's a perception right there. And because you see them, okay, you don't realize, and you take them to be factual, to be the truth. Like engineers love to measure things and take them as facts. Yes? Okay? That's engineering view. Okay, we have some engineers in our assembly today, okay, especially in San Jose. That's called views. Okay? Scientific views, if you will. Okay? Scientific views, okay, are a form of, from what? From what? Illusion. Okay, now they are very unhappy in San Jose. Your entire life is built on what? Their entire life is built on? All the money, all the success is built on? Falseness. No wonder they're so confused. Okay? And unhappy. Yes? So what happens is, by definition, this view here is a very, very damaging thing to have. A view of a self, a view of ordinary, a view of sagely, all those are wrong. All those are unnecessary prejudices. Why do I say that? Because you just have to listen to it now, even though you disagree violently inside. They may be sitting there calmly, but they say, Master is full of it. I'm glad he's no patriarch, they all saying, these traitors. Okay, these ungrateful engineers. They say, I'm glad that he's no patriarch because I don't need to believe him. But, my friends, that's not my words. Those are the 6th Patriarch's words. Your views, okay, are erroneous, are the mark of confusion, the mark of being full of yourself, the mark of being egotistical. Should I go further? Can you take it? Yes, you can. Forget it. I don't believe you. There's a self who says, I can take it. You cannot believe those people. They will bite you. Anyway, so what happens is that we, through our sense organs, we see, we feel, we hear, we smell, and those, because we keep on doing that, you smell a rose, you know how a rose smells, okay? So you take it, you form these views, these what we call prejudices, yes? Prejudices meaning good prejudices and bad prejudices. Any kind of prejudice is bad, is not good for you, okay? You think, for example, that Black Lives Matter. What is that called? BLM, not BLT. BLM, okay? What is that? What is that? It's a prejudice. That's a view of the common. Please don't shoot at me. I'm just repeating the 6th Patriarch's teaching here. Okay? If you say Black Lives Matter, it's a view of the ordinary. Okay? If you say White Lives Matter, it's also a view of the ordinary. Okay? It's a state of confusion. If you say that, on the other hand, there is sagely, if you even have formed the notion of sagely, of enlightened, okay, that's also erroneous. Okay? And once you have true wisdom, after you become enlightened. Okay? In Buddhism, it's very clear. Until you reach that level, when you reach a level of enlightenment, something we call great enlightenment, not small enlightenment, of 4th Stage Arhat. A 4th Stage Arhat still have views. Okay? But when you reach the first ground Bodhisattva level, okay, at that point in time, you have no more views of common and sagely. Any problems? That is to tell you that even a 4th Stage Arhat still has a lot of areas they are confused about. Okay? They know, they have wisdom, but the wisdom is very limited. Like a bubble in empty space. That's how much they know. Okay? And they don't try to explain nirvana. Back to slide, commentary slide 372. They don't try to explain nirvana. All right? 373. 2 boundaries, the 3 limits are cut off. What are the 2 boundaries? It's the 2 extremes of zero or emptiness and existence, okay? Meaning everything or nothing. That's 2 boundaries. Everything is within that 2 extremes. Yes? Okay? And the 3 boundaries, the 3 limits. 3 limits, not boundaries. And let me correct it. That's wrong here. Limits. Okay. Excuse me. The 3 limitations. Limits entails the notion you're limited by the time axis. Okay, where the times of past, present, and the future. Okay, and so these enlightened beings, they don't have. They're not bound by the have and the have-nots. They're not bound by the factor of time. One more thing is more difficult for you to understand as far as the state of these enlightened beings, the people who have true wisdom. Okay, when you have real wisdom, you're not bound by time anymore. You don't say that I don't have enough time. My life's too short. My life's too long. Okay? You are not worried about emptiness and existence. Okay? And one thing that what happened is that your body have the 5 organs: the ear organ, the nose organ, the body organ, the eyes organ, and what else? The tongue organ, right? Those 5 organs, they all have their uses. They all have their functionalities, okay? But these enlightened beings don't think of using, okay? Of using them. You know what I mean? Of course you don't know what I mean. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, in time like this is very important for you to understand. It's nothing to understand. Just listen. You try to understand, you will go crazy. Okay? It's not possible to try to help you understand. It's not possible. You just have to admit that you're stupid. That's it. And just listen. And one day, when you become enlightened, you see, it's true. That's the only way for you to understand, is when you get there, you see what they mean, the Buddha meant. Until then, there's no point in trying to understand. Is it clear? And it's way beyond your capabilities. It doesn't matter how much of a genius you are, how smart you are, how rich you are, okay, how special you are, okay, you cannot understand. Okay? It's not possible. Why not? Why not? Why can't you understand? It's a very, very important reason why you cannot understand. I'm entertaining your suggestions. Why do you think you cannot understand? What proof do I have you cannot understand? We have him last. He raised his hand too fast. It's not good. The rest of you, why can't you understand? Black, sir.
Attachments, for one thing.
What?
Attachments.
Attachments. Okay, your attachments. You insist on understanding. Yes? In particular, not just any kind of attachment. You insist on understanding. That's why you cannot understand. Who else? Very good. You see? You agree with me or not? Folks, you scholars, folks, you who are very erudite, who know so much. Your weakness is that, Xianxuan, what's their weakness? On the internet, they insist on understanding, don't they? That's why they're so quiet. Shut them up for good. Yes, go ahead, internet people
No,
who refuse to give up.
earlier I didn't see their text message.
Only text messages, probably nasty ones. No, very good. Ignore the text messages. Yes. SanJose now back online? Okay. Probably nasty. Your last chance. If you screw up again, SanJose, forget it. We're not going back to you ever again. No. Yeah, why can't you understand? Yes, why is no way to make you understand? Yes, sir, SanJose. You still have problems. Forget it, SanJose. Type it. Okay, for you smart people here, superior people in Wei Mountain Temple, why can't you understand? Since you're superior, you should know why you can't understand. Yes, internet.
Because we're stupid?
What?
Because we're stupid?
Come on, let's keep it polite. Don't be so down on yourself. Jeez. Okay? Orange. Why can't you understand orange?
We lack the wisdom.
You lack the wisdom. Yeah, that sounds better. Instead of doing stupid, you lack wisdom. Very good. Anyone else? Why can't you understand, sir? Why can't you understand? Yes, somewhere in the assembly.
Yes, Master, we don't have no blessings.
You have no blessings. This is someone who's very down on herself. Ignore her comment. Yes, internet. Why can't you understand?
Master Huineng made it too complex. It's his fault.
Touché. I'm trying to get you to sign up for the paid session. Okay, you got me. What's his name again? Blacklist that person. Anyone else? Why can't you understand internet?
Because we're not enlightened.
Because you're not enlightened.
Because we still think.
Excellent. What's that person? Who's that person again? Is that Chinese person or not? Huh?
SanJose.
SanJose? Damn. Clearly it's not Chinese, because Chinese say, 因为 You cannot understand because understanding means? What What does it mean to understand? Huh? You have to think to understand, don't you? Yes or no? Someone disagrees. You don't think you understand. That's not possible, sir. I don't believe you. How can you understand without thinking? Please tell me. Okay, and if he gives us a wrong answer, this guy here, give him electrical shocks. Be careful, do not blow it. Now he's a lot more cautious.
When you swing at a baseball that's coming at you at 90 miles per hour, you don't think, you just do it.
It's not the same as swinging at the ball. Understand it's not the same as swinging at the bat, with a bat.
I agree. You're not understanding, you're doing
reaction. It's a reflex action. It's not understanding. I'm talking about something goes up here, sir, not just your muscles. See? Electrical shocks. Let's get a taser, huh? Shall we? Yes? Why? What happened is that you hear people often say what? I think I understand you. Yes or no? Because you need to think for you to understand. And that's why. But what happens? What's wrong with understanding then? Because you need to go through your sixth consciousness. As long as you go through your thinking mind, okay, you're relying on something that's confused to understand. How can you possibly break through if you keep on depending on something that is confused? So that's why when you cultivate, we need to first help you crush your ego. Okay? You have to put an end to your ego, which means that you have to stop trying to understand. Without the ego, there's no more thinking. Then there's a chance for you to be taught. Until then, it doesn't pay for us to teach you. Is it clear? It's just like you try to teach Joseph about algebra. Okay? How is it possible? He has no way of understanding algebra. He doesn't even know what algebra means. Yes? True or not? No? You know what algebra means? What algebra is? Of course not. You see? It's not possible. All right. So, there are things where, from experience, the patriarchs do not try to help you understand, okay? Because it's not possible. Only confused people, only salespeople would try to make you understand. All right. Moving on, 374, Sutra text. All dharmas are discerned without a thought of discrimination arising. When the fire at the aeon's end burns the bottom of the sea, and the winds blow the mountains against each other,
分别一切法，不起分别想，结火烧海底，风鼓山相击。
Now, what he's talking about is it gives you a glimpse of a state of enlightened people. Okay? Because you cannot understand, but we can describe to you what a state, how these people are. Okay? So that you can see that there's no way for you to understand that. You can only listen to it. You cannot possibly understand. It says everything, all dharmas are discerned. 分别一切法, meaning you can tell, black from white. You can tell short from long. Okay? You can accurately tell. Yes? You can tell true from false. Right? But without a thought of discrimination arising. Meaning that what does it mean? This phrase here, the old monk, I forgot to ask him. I want to keep him awake. Huh? What does it mean? Without thought discrimination arising.
At that moment, your Buddha nature revealed. No thought and...
Okay. Anyone else? It's not incorrect, but that's not what the terms I'm looking for. Anyone else? It's the right answer, but not the wrong words. What does it mean? It's right there. This is kind of cool. You're able to discern. Okay? You can tell it's true or false. Okay? You can tell it's right or wrong. Without a thought discrimination arising, meaning what? Without thinking. That's all it means. When you think, you discriminate, don't you? Yes? That's as soon as you think, you discriminate. So that's why it says here, this is so Chinese. And actually, this is giving us more information about the way our mind functions. When you think, you actually are discriminating. It's automatic. Okay? So it says, for you, confused people, you truly believe that you must think because it's necessary for you to discern black from white, right from wrong, okay, advantageous from disadvantageous, gain from loss. Okay, you need to think as a function of your smarts, of your training, of your experience. However, you didn't know that you can discern short versus long, yellow versus orange, without thinking. Actually, if you don't think, your knowledge is a lot more accurate, a lot faster, a lot more precise, a lot keener. But no, you're too smart. You insist on thinking. You insist on analyzing. Without thinking, without analyzing what happens, you're able to discern, arrive at the conclusion without thinking. It's very cool. It's so cool. You're able to know, you're able to see the results without thinking. Because thinking is too slow. Okay? That's why you have people who say, I think, I believe, I don't believe. Okay? That's using your thinking mind. I believe. Okay? I think. I don't believe. Okay? All those are thinking minds. Okay? Don't take them seriously. Okay? And when the fire at the aeon's end burns the bottom of the sea, what it's referring to is by the time this world as we live in is coming to an end, where at the end of our world at that time, there will have the three calamities that will occur naturally. Okay? What kind of calamities? Okay? First of all, there is a fire calamity. Meaning that when our world, this world here, where we live in right now, okay, is about to be destroyed, there will appear 10 suns in the sky. 10 suns. Right now, today is, I don't want you to think that I'm unscientific. Today is high is 93 degrees with one sun. One sun. Okay? Our temperature reaches 93 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Okay? Imagine if there are 10 of those suns in the sky at the same time. Can you imagine how hot it's going to be? Okay? And that's what he says. Towards the end of our world in that times, okay, there will appear 10 suns in the sky, and it's so hot that it burns. All the seas will be evaporated, and even the bottom of the sea is burned as well. So at that point, there's no more Amazon forest, no more trees, no more grass, no more nothing. Everything gets burned. Okay? If we think that the fire hazard is so high nowadays in California, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay? So the fire calamity will destroy everything at that time. That's what happens, typically happens when a world comes to the end of its useful life. Okay? These three calamities will occur. Okay? And destroy a lot of things and killed a lot of living beings. Okay? No living beings is able to survive this kind of heat. Okay? Unless you find a way to hide from it. Okay? And the winds blow the mountains against each other. And the next, let's see if he talks about it. Okay, very good. Okay. The second calamity. So the first, there will be a fire calamity. It will burn up everything, okay? And then we recover, just like these 10 suns disappear. Maybe someone shot an arrow in the suns, and the sun was shot down, and then they shot, 9 other suns, so life is back to normal, and things started growing again, trees started growing again, and so forth, okay? And then later, there will be the next calamity, which is what? No! I know! It's water, flood calamity. There will be water rising. The sea water level rises. Okay, it will engulf Manhattan. Will engulf Manhattan Beach. Will engulf Huntington Beach. So you better sell all the beach properties. Okay, I highly recommend it, and you highly recommend you move to the mountain, invest in the mountain properties. Okay, so during that flood, that water calamity, the water will rise and drown everything, drown everyone. All the properties in Santa Ana and Rosemead becomes worthless. So since we know, I plan to sell Wei Mountain Temple way before that. Okay, and buy a mountain for ourselves. Himalaya, we moved to Himalaya. Okay, Mont Blanc, if you're in France. Okay, so the water rises and drown everything, everyone. Okay, including what? I received words today that one of our Chan students is not coming back because her God called her. He says, "You cannot come. You keep on coming to Wei Mountain Temple. I no longer bestow you Christian blessings." And I said, "Big deal. You may lose Christian blessings, but you have Buddhist blessings." Why is it important? Because if you have Buddhist blessings, you may not be drowned by the flood. Because during that fire calamity, even the Christian heaven will be burned. Okay? That heaven, the Christian heaven where the Christian God and those gods are living, they are burned to ashes. Okay? And then after that fire calamity, they came back. They run away. Some of those gods, they run away and they come back. Okay, they populate it again. And then the next calamity is water calamity. It will rise to that heaven, the Christian heaven, will drown everything again. So I was joking. I would not buy mountain properties at all. I would invest in an ark. The Koreans don't like it. Did you translate properly? They don't know anything about Catholicism and Christianity at all, these Koreans. They look so serious. What's so funny about it, they say? It's because you Koreans have no sense of humor. Lighten up. Congratulations, but you need to lighten up. Okay? So what happened is, see, there's some Koreans who are much lighter than you, authentic Koreans. So what happened to the other Korean, the fourth Korean I saw? She disappeared. Anyway, that young man's escort, Dharma protector. Anyway, so the second calamity is water calamity. Everything gets flooded and drowned and washed away. Did you see those clips, video clips of where the tsunami came and wiped away in Japan, wiped away everything? That's what's going to happen. Okay? Everything here in our world will be drowned, will be washed away. Okay? Where we are. Okay? Cadillacs, okay? Including the new cars that can float on water from Japan. Okay, that's when you want, at that time, you want to invest in submarines and boats. I would no longer buy real estate property. I would buy submarines, buy a fleet of submarines and boats. Okay? Anyway, and that's future considerations for you. You see, you learn all these important tips for you to make a lot of money when that time comes. And then finally, the third calamity, after a while, things came back to normal. Water cannot rise forever. Eventually, you have to lower back to the original level. And then eventually, later on, the third calamity would be the wind calamity, which is horrible. There's no defense against this wind here. It blows away everything. Everything. Mountains, rivers, you name it. Cars, houses. Okay. ICBMs, White Houses. Everything gets blown away. Okay? To the point where, that's what it says here, the winds will blow the mountains against each other. How about that? It's so strong that it lifts mountains. Okay? It uproots the mountains and then blow them against each other. That's how powerful this wind is. So the 6th Patriarch only described the two calamities because he basically says there's the first one and then the third one. And so he omits the second one. So you can assume that, he's not a fearmonger. I explained to you in greater details for investment purposes only. Future consideration of your investments. Okay? Next, 376. Sutra text. The true, permanent, still extinct bliss, the mark of nirvana is thus. I have struggled to explain it, to cause you to reject your arisen views.
真常寂灭乐，涅盘相如是。五经强言说，令汝舍现见。
This is when you don't envy the 6th Patriarch. You try to explain to an idiot who is so well read. What are you going to do? Whatever you say, he says, I heard, I know that. You don't have to tell me. I know it already. The Buddha said that already. We Chinese people have a saying as well. And that's what he means by the third phrase. I have a struggle to explain it to you because you know everything already. There's no way for me to tell you how stupid you are. Okay? He says, 377 in commentary slide, the true, permanent, still, extinct bliss. These are the characteristics of nirvana. Nirvana has 4 characteristics. Okay? It's true. Okay? It's permanent. Okay, so it says nirvana here. Nirvana has characteristics is that it is extinct or pure, you want to call it. It is still, it is permanent, it is true. Okay, meaning that contrasted to what we have here in our world. We have here is untrue. Okay, what we own here in our world is so-called untrue. What we have in our world is impermanent. Okay, everything will eventually be destroyed. Permanent here meaning will never change. Okay, still, Okay, meaning that it has no movement. Okay, it's still, and then extinct, still extinct. Okay, there's no movement, no creation, no production, no production at all. That's why if you have no production, you only have still extinction, and you have bliss. Okay, so this have a true self. Everything is true. The true you find there is a true self. You have a permanent. Everything you experience will be permanent. The bliss you experience will be permanent. The self you experience will be permanent. It will never change again. And it is still extinct and it's very blissful. Those are the characteristics of nirvana. Something worth looking forward to in our cultivation. Okay? Let's look at this word true here. True. Let's look at the word permanent. Permanent meaning it doesn't change. Okay? This is a state of nirvana, meaning that something you will experience when you become enlightened. All right? And that state of attainment, of enlightenment, is permanent. You will never change again. Meaning what? Remember, in our lineage, Wei-Yang lineage, we say, 随缘不变, 不变随缘. We accord with conditions, but do not change. We do not change, and yet accord with conditions. And I explained to you that the first phrase, 随缘不变, you accord with conditions and you don't change, meaning that whatever happens outside of you, you hang on to your value system. Yes or no? That's what it means in our lineage. 随缘不变, meaning no matter what happens, no matter how poor you are, no matter how hungry you are, no matter how desperate you are, no matter how badly you want something, you still don't compromise yourself. You maintain your dignity, you maintain your loftiness. That's what is meant by 随缘不变. Is that clear? That's our doctrine. And then the next one says, 不变随缘. And I explained to you briefly, I said, that don't talk like that because it's not you. This refers to the state of enlightened beings. They don't change and accord with conditions. Is it clear? Meaning that they are enlightened, that's why their state is permanent. They don't change anymore. Before that, you still change. After you become enlightened, you don't change anymore. Your enlightenment is permanent. Okay? It's forever. And so, for us in our lineage, we 随缘不变. Until you become enlightened, you accord with conditions. You put up with masters' tempers, masters' irrationalities, all those faults that you have verified already. And all of you have compared notes to have unanimous about it. Okay? So 随缘, meaning doesn't matter how bad master is, you still don't quit. Because if you quit, you're a traitor. I'm unanimous about it. Okay? Got that? 随缘不变, meaning that no matter what I throw at you, you don't change your course. Everything is a test to see what you're going to do. If you quit, I see you in hell. The Koreans are making faces. Okay? So that's the first line. 随缘不变. We accord with conditions. We don't change. We don't compromise our value system. We don't compromise what we stand for. Okay? We'd rather die than quitting. We'd rather die than compromise our value system. Is that clear? Next line. 不变随缘. We don't change, yet with accord with conditions refers to this state of permanence. Okay? Once, because before that, before you become enlightened, you change like crazy. You tell me you don't quit, but who knows? After 3 years of hardship, you say, the heck with this. This is so difficult. I'm going to change. I changed my mind. I quit. There's always a Western bliss Pure Land. Why do I need to be enlightened this lifetime? I changed my mind. I'm going to the West. You're too young to go to the West. You have to continue to suffer, my boy. Okay? So this is what happens to all of us before we become enlightened. We change like crazy. Remember, I was sick for 2 months. After 3 weeks of their beating me day and night, 24 hours a day, okay? It hurt so much. I basically said, I changed my mind. I ain't doing this anymore. That's enough is enough. How much pain can a man take? 3 weeks, 24 hours a day? That's inhuman. So I said, I changed my mind. I'm not doing any more work. As soon as I recover, I quit. I'm going to the Bahamas. That's my original plan. And after I got better, what happens? No money. So I had to change my mind again. So that's us. You see, we change constantly. We are like a flame under the wind. It shifts and morphs. Okay? But once you become enlightened, okay, you experience a state of permanence. Therefore, that's what is meant by 不变随缘. You don't change anymore, and yet you are willing to accord with conditions. What do you do then? After you become enlightened, what do you do? Let me relate to you what happens here at Wei Mountain Temple. Okay? The first phrase, 随缘不变, you accord with conditions, we don't change. That's us. That's me trying to work at it. 不变随缘, second line in our doctrine is that we don't change yet accord the conditions. Refers to what? To you after you become enlightened. Okay? After you become enlightened, this lifetime, you don't change anymore. 不变, you don't change anymore. Okay? And you accord the condition. Then you really want to help me. Remember that. It's called what? Brainwashing. Okay? You might as well learn the right things now before it's too late. Okay, so what happened is that the bodhisattvas, only bodhisattvas, after they become enlightened, they don't change anymore, no matter what, no matter how poor, no matter how rich they are, no matter how successful or unsuccessful they are, they don't change anymore. Their bliss is permanent. Okay? What they experience is permanent. And that's why they can afford to go back. Like Master HsuanHua, he came back to our world. And then accord with conditions. Okay, he went through all the hardship throughout his life, and yet it didn't affect him at all. Isn't that cool? Only bodhisattvas can do that. So please, yes, black.
The level of their bodhisattvahood.
What?
They do change their grounds of their bodhisattva grounds.
No, we're talking about their substance, my friend. Not that manifestational grounds, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, their substance doesn't change anymore. Good point, very good. But I'm prepared for that already. Nice try. Okay, blacklist him. Okay. He said, I don't care. I don't change. You can blacklist me, I don't change. So what happens is a person, a bodhisattva like Master HsuanHua, he came here and he became enlightened. After he became enlightened, okay, he can afford to do anything he wants. Yeah. He's not afflicted anymore. He doesn't lose faith anymore. He doesn't give up anymore, no matter how much pain. It's funny, I need to tell you this. I admit to you, after 3 weeks of constant beating from these damn demons, if you excuse my Jewish, my Hebrew, or my Greek, I couldn't take it anymore, so I quit. Okay, I said, I quit. I declare to everyone that I saw, everyone who came to my house and tried, Master, can I help you? I said, yeah, you can help me. Be my witness. I'm quitting. Forever. Okay, enough is enough. Why should I continue to suffer for you ingrates? So I quit. I declare. I said, quit. Did you hear me? I quit. I quit. And may God be my witness. I declare I'm quit. Okay, because frankly I couldn't take it anymore. But my master, compared to my master, my pain is similar to his towards the end of his life. Did you know that? It is that at the end of his life, he had to go have dialysis every 2 or 3 days for months, for years. Okay, you know how painful dialysis is? Anyone have ever had dialysis? Not me, but anyone? It's extremely painful. And you sit there for 2 or 3 hours, and it's excruciatingly painful. Okay? And that is not to mention that all the pains on top of he experienced. He says it is said that his pain is like someone takes a hammer that they borrow from Xian Tung's house. There's old hammers that she paid like for $20 back then. Now it's worth $34 at Home Depot. Okay? And you take this big jackhammer, okay? Her handle is so rugged, it's so dirty, that if you hold it, your hand will become black. Mine did. Okay? That's how old it is. You take the jackhammer, okay, and you hit it. Hit its back. 24 hours a day. Bang, bang, bang. Okay? He, of course, the internal organs were failing as well, so he's in much worse shape than I was. And you know what? He didn't quit, damn it. He's a true 随缘不变不变随缘. Yes, Mom. Orange. Word cannot express my total admiration for this deceased monk. He's incredible. He can take so much pain and not change. It's incredible. Yes, ma'am.
Emitofuo. I just heard of a story, and my question for...
You heard it from the other side. I know you're a trader.
Thank you. So it's a true story, though. So the story was, there was this monk...
I told you. She tunes in the other side.
That's hand number 37, Master. We're supposed to broadly study and work hard.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it while I'm alive.
Okay, so there was this old monk in Taiwan, and he had a school. And after the evening ceremony, somebody told him suddenly, he said, we have no more rights for tomorrow's morning for all these students.
Right.
So the old monk, he took a rope. He went in front of a Weituo Pusa, and he said, okay, I am so virtuous. All these people in my temple, I'm training them, educating them, but I don't have food to feed them.
Right.
And if you're not gonna do anything about it, tomorrow morning I'm gonna just hang myself with this rope in front of you. So he did that.
So he was planning on killing himself.
Yeah, kind of like the Master ShuanHua story on the boat.
This is not Master ShuanHua?
Not Master ShuanHua, but
I
it
didn't
reminds.
think so. My master would never kill himself.
But then he said that when he was on the boat and then they were about to kill the people around the boat, he said, I'm going to jump if you don't.
Right.
So tomorrow morning, sure enough, there are these people, different people came in with food and everything before like the certain time. And they said they saw like different Bodhisattva telling them to do it or they're going to be in trouble. So in this condition, is it 水淹不变不变水淹? Is it 攀缘? Emitofuo.
What's your name again? I'm supposed to talk. You're not supposed to ask questions. Her car is orange. It's the only orange color car in the parking lot. Yes, it is. If you're a cultivator, you'd rather die than ask Weituo for help. You don't ask for help. Not in our lineage. Okay? I would let you die, in other words. Don't say, Master, have some compassion. Can you pray to Weituo? Can you pray to Master ShuanHua? Can you pray to Amitabha Buddha and help me out? I need some food. Otherwise, these people will be thrown off the boat tomorrow. I say, let them. They don't listen to me anyway. Okay? You don't ask for help. Okay? If you deserve it, their help. You don't deserve it, die. But luckily for us, they have provisions go to the Pure Land already, so they're not afraid to die, unlike those boat people. Even that boy has been prepared since the age of 2 already. You know that? He's been preparing, his mom prepared him to go to the Pure Land since at the age of 2. Did you know that, huh? Young man? Your mom prepared you to go to the Pure Land. "12 years ago. See how much she loves you? And you're still fighting her? Ingrate. You're so ungrateful. And now you know that if she yells at you, she makes a face at you, abuses you, okay? You know, it's out of love. By the way, it's funny, but I'm making fun of him and his mother, but actually I'm very proud of him. I watched him evolve the last 12 years, okay? That only the last month or so, all of a sudden Joseph is kinder and much more gentle than before. That's incredible. That's wisdom. It's not something you can buy. Okay? No money can change a person's character like that. is incredible. You know, I wish if I had children, my children would be kind and gentle, like he's becoming. It's incredible. Keep it up. Okay? Because of that, you can ask Mommy for ice cream after the lecture. Say, Mommy, I heard you really love me. How about ice cream? It's so cool. Okay? So that story, going back to the story that Apple brought up, you know, I have some compassion, therefore I need to save these people. That's compassion, yes, but it's not our lineage. It's not our lineage. We don't do that. You know, it's because I say that even though I wasn't around when my master was here teaching his pupils, but I heard stories about that from his side, from his students. They had no money to buy food at Gold Mountain Temple years ago when I first started. And my master is crazy, if you don't mind my putting it that way. He accepts everyone who walked in, whether they are drug addicts or not. They want to say, hey, I need a place to stay. I need to want to learn Buddhism. He says, okay, give him some clothes, some monk clothes. You know what it means? They took some old sheets. They dyed some kind of weird colors, and they wrap around them they tie it like this, like the Koreans do. You see that Koreans, how they tie the things? It means just like they take two pieces and you tie it together. Okay? You see those photos, old photos of his disciples with the way they dress? I was shocked. I said, how could people be willing to look like that, look ridiculous, and so thin? I have proof. Someone just sent me a photo. What happened? What happened? That photo is gone. Here. Look at this. I don't know how to blow it on the screen, but look at these people. This is in this photo here, Master SsanJose is so young and so happy looking. And look at his disciples. They look so thin, about the same, as thin as Joseph there. I don't know what his mother gives him for food. But, but they're so skinny. Look at this. And look at their clothes. I look at that, I was so shocked. I said, they must be losers, these people. I would never agree to shave my head under these conditions. Okay? There's some standards for left home people, in my mind. Okay? Look at how well-dressed my disciples are. We treat our people right, unlike my master, by the way. Anyway, it's fascinating to me that these people, did you want to take a look at this? Pass it around. This is incredible. You can blow it on the screen as well. I want you to have this as a proof on how badly my master treated his disciples. It's incredible. Give it to the people there and have them. Let me share the note here. Share to someone. A bunch of people. There you go. This is from San Diego. They found these old photos. The San Diego people are weird. They send all these old photos. Can you blow it up on the screen? Okay. Show some people while they're working on that. Look at how maigrichon, meaning in French for how skinny these people are. Can you imagine? And look at the clothes. Xintong, look at how shabbily dressed they were. It's shocking to me. They don't even have a sash. Think about it. Look how beautifully adorned all of you are. Look at that. Huh? Huh? Orange, go ahead.
A follow-up question. So based on what Master just said, let's say when we are in trouble, if I'm, if any kind of trouble, you told us to pray to Guan Yin. When we're in trouble, any kind, or maybe COVID-19, whatever.
Yeah, don't call me. That's my message. Please.
Are we supposed to be 随烟不变不变随烟 and do nothing and wait, or are we supposed to be calling around and praying to Guan Yin?
When you are really in trouble, then you know what to do. Right now, you don't know what you're talking about. So it doesn't matter what I tell you. When you're in trouble, then you know what to do. Okay? And you choose wrong, you'll pay for it. Okay. Anyway, it's fascinating. Did you see? Can you blow that thing on the screen, please? It's fascinating to me how my master can convince these poor Caucasian people to shave their head and become a monk under these circumstances. They got no clothes, they have no food, they have nothing to look forward to. Something's wrong with these people. No wonder they're not around anymore. You see that? Can you blow it up? It's fascinating. Juan, look at this. Would you want to shave your head like this under these circumstances? Never, let me tell you. You ask me, don't bother. Look at that. See how skinny they are? They have nothing to eat, I can tell you. At least here we eat 1 meal a day, maybe 2. They probably have 0 meal a day. So I remember the story because the one time they have no money to buy food. Okay? So the whole temple went hungry. Master SsanJose never asked Weito. That's my proof. Okay? Never said anything. Never prayed. And guess what? Because of that, Joseph, what did Weito do?
Send a bunch of food over.
Nothing. You want to starve to death? Be my guest. It's Weito's attitude. Look at that. The only person, you notice, this is so funny. I look at this photo and I chuckle. The only person who's smiling is what? This is too much. This is what I call what you don't do to tell people about the left home lifestyle. Okay? So fascinating to me. How did he do that? I look at this photo, I say, oh my God, I am not worthy of you. I remember when Xianxun left the home life, back then I had no money. Okay, so my dear beloved mother slandered me, so no one gave me offerings. Okay, but Xianxun decided to lead the home life. Okay, so I allowed her to shave her head, and then I spent over $6,000 to send to her to Taiwan. Why? Because she likes shopping. She bought back a bunch of things I can't even use nowadays. It's true. Ask her. You see, I had to bribe them to leave the home life. And these people, what have they got? You tell me. Huh? Isn't it sad? Something wrong with these people. Absolutely. Okay. And it's funny because Master SsanJose had no money and kept on accepting disciples. And then eventually they ran out of money because no one knew about them. And guess what? He still accepted more disciples. So that's our lineage, by the way. It's our standard. You're supposed to die for the Dharma. And only him is fat and happy. Look at that. He's probably saying, look at these poor suckers. they show nipples and everything else. My God, look at this guy. He probably has no clothes left, no more curtains to make a sash out of. These people are extreme. And you tell me that we're supposed to pray to Wei To and Wan Yin? You can pray. I'm not praying for you. Okay, thank you. Isn't it cool? These people are superior people, let me tell you. That's why they become enlightened or they're so cuckoo that they disappear. All right. Anyway, that's time is up. We come back to 377 again next week. Thank you all. Happy 5th of July. We're not done with 377 yet. You have to go back to it. Okay, everyone, let's do the rebirth transference, and then we can go shopping.